All right, are you ready for some optic football tonight? That is what's on tap. Have just the one product tonight that we're breaking. And as we normally do, we're going to go over a little bit of information before we get started actually ripping into things. So my feedback is automated on eBay, and I do that so you never have to wait on me. Anytime you leave positive feedback for me, you are instantly going to get the same in return. And of course, far more importantly, is a big thank you. Always appreciate you being here, bidding, breaking, chatting, and hanging out with me on this Monday night. Going to take a look now at what is coming up in the days ahead. So tomorrow night, we're going to open a Leaf autograph baseball jersey and a case of Contenders football. Now, the Contenders football, the veteran base does not ship in that break, okay? And you know what? I better check that, too. Make sure that's on 8:30 start time. Sometime, you know what? Yeah, after, what was that, a week or so ago? I'll make sure this time. On Wednesday night, we're going to open a half case of Leaf autograph football jerseys and some Bowman's Best Baseball, which I think it's the last full case. I may have another partial case, but I think that's the last full case of Bowman's Best. On Thursday night, we are looking at a pair of TriStar Platinum Autograph Mini Football helmets and a case of Leaf Best of Football. Friday night, we're going to do Optic Football again. Saturday, it will be another Leaf autograph baseball jersey, and we're going to start a case of playoff football. It'll be the first time we've opened playoff football this year. Sunday night will be an off night. Monday night, we're going to do another half case of Leaf autograph football jerseys, and the back half of that case of playoff that we start on Saturday, we're going to finish on Monday. We've got no new releases this week, of course. I don't think we have any, maybe not any next week either. If we do, it's the end of next week. I don't think we have any on next Wednesday unless they change some stuff up on us. So maybe we'll get a chance to clean up some things, get some things done that we've been putting off, right? So here's what you need to know about this break tonight. Everybody should pull cards in here. There's tons of cards, so I don't think we need to worry about consolations, which just means the only thing you need to know is about when you can expect it to ship. And right now I'm projecting that it should be out the door and on the way by Thursday. So it may go out sooner, hopefully sooner, but it should not be any later than Thursday. So it's a 12-box case of Optic Football. This is break number 4. And of course it ended tonight on eBay, Monday night, the 6th of January. And we've got our team names there on the left-hand side, winning bidders across from each team on the opposite side. Everybody's all paid up tonight. Yay, thank you, everyone. So we don't have to delay. We can just rock right on down the road here. I do have one other little task, and that is to change up the focus. So you will notice that your background has gotten a bit blurry, and that is intentional. So don't worry, even though the background's kind of funky right now, we'll be able to see our cards up nice and close here in a minute when we get to that point. Charles is here. Hi, Charles and Jay Allen and Nicholas. Nicholas, I saw you had your Lions tonight, so I know we've got to find you some love for Detroit. Jay Allen, oh, you went back and watched that Bowman break. I know, that was wild, wasn't it? I mean, like, literally, as I was opening the box is when I was saying, oh, Jay Allen's not here, but I got to remember to work the mojo for his Phillies. And then as, you know, I'm opening the box, and then we find that Bryce Harper auto to 50. That was so much fun. I love it when a plan comes together. Okay, so we are looking for one autograph per box on average. You know how Panini is with their on average stuff. Basically, it means that every once in a while we might not get a hit that we're expecting to get. More often, it tends to mean that sometimes our hits get replaced by a rewards point card. If that happens to us tonight, we will, of course, use random.org to find a home for that rewards point card or cards at the end of the break. Now, the main thing, of course, in here is it just takes forever to get all the stuff out of the wrappers. So Not a lot of, I mean, there's a decent amount of cards in every box. There's 80 cards in each box. But the problem is those 80 cards are in 20 wrappers. So there you go. That's why we'll be spending the next hour and 30 minutes or so together, maybe an hour and 40, as opposed to what could probably be done in an hour if they gave us fewer packs. But oh well, what are we going to do? Jay Allen, you have Panthers, Falcons, and Buccaneers tonight. All right. Nicholas says he's still trying to find that Barry Sanders downtown. Listen, I hope we just get a downtown insert. We have not been finding them because we've been finding... Well, here's my theory. I think that you find the downtown insert when you don't have other, what I would call, big hits in the case. And my experience has been that if you do have other quote-unquote big hits, you often don't have the downtown insert. So I want to find the downtown insert, but I'm greedy. I also want the big hits. I want both. So, you know, I don't know what we'll end up with tonight, but hopefully it'll be a good case, whichever way it goes. Jay Allen says now he's starting to think that he hits better when you're not watching. Well, I don't know that that's the case. I think, you know, sometimes it's just hard with the teams that you chase. You know, I mean, it's hard to pull those Bryce Harpers. They just don't come out of stuff super often. So, you know, your Phillies might get other stuff, but it's hard to get those big hits for the Phillies because the biggest hit that everybody wants is the Bryce Harper, and he just doesn't show up nearly as often as we might like, autograph-wise. All right, let's see what we've got here. Man, we had some good games this weekend too, didn't we? I mean, it was a nice little wild card weekend. Some overtime games, some fun. I like it. We're just going to bust through the base. We're going to spend zero time on the base. We'll talk for a minute in this first box about how these inserts are set up in subsequent boxes. We'll go through this faster too. So here you see a Benny Snell for the Steelers. It is numbered to 150, and anytime we have that darker royal blue border, it will be to 150. There is a purple border that is similar in color that is numbered to 50. When we come across it, I'll let you know. This is just a base prism. The base prisms in here are not numbered. They've got to have some extra color on their borders to be numbered in this product. So another base prism there for Fletcher Cox. And of course we are flipping them all over in this first box. But again, after we get through the first box, we won't flip over the stuff that we know, if we know it's numbered or what it's numbered to or whatever. So we have a redemption right off the bat. It's going to set up there in housekeeping. I'm trying to fix my cord so I do not knock into it and knock this tripod over. So yeah, the redemption stays up there in housekeeping face down until the very end of the night. We'll flip it over at the end and check it out. So this is a lighter blue, like kind of a North Carolina blue, and anytime you see that, it will be numbered to 299. That particular card was Marquise Brown and the Ravens. MVP for the Vikings, Adrian Peterson. We'll find a handful of those inserts. They're patterned, but they are typically unnumbered. If that changes and we see one that is numbered, I will, of course, flag it to you. Once again, the light blue, so numbered to 299. That one heads to the Oakland Raiders. The Bengals to 299, Andy Dalton. And this Elite Series, unnumbered, not a prism. It is an insert. We will find a few of them as we go along. If one of them does happen to be numbered or has some variation other than base, I'll flag it when we go through it. Otherwise, if I just go on past it, then you'll know what's what. And here is Bryce Love for the Redskins, base prism. So I guess Tua finally announced today that he was headed to the NFL, but did anybody really think he was going to go back his senior season? I guess the injury made it at least a remote possibility, but I think everybody thought he was going to declare. So this is an example of a throwback variation. You can see it's not a prism, it's not numbered, but that is why it has a different card design. It's a throwback, and again, we'll speed on through those going forward unless we find something different. The red ones are numbered to 99. We'll find probably a decent amount of those, hopefully. Maybe some of those in lower would be the ideal situation. Orange are numbered to 199. Kirk Cousins finally got the monkey off his back for the Vikings, and they won their playoff game. So Kirk Cousins finally stepping up in a big moment ought to, I guess, right? Silence the critics who say Kirk Cousins can't play in a big moment, maybe. Of course, then all they'll do is just talk about how they don't have to say that anymore, but so they'll still be talking about it. They'll just be saying, oh, now we don't have to say that, while still saying it. Poor Kirk Cousins. There's the Giants and DeAndre Baker with a prism and one more base. So that's how our box is constructed. Most of them are going to look pretty similar. We have a couple of other color variations that we did not see in that first box. So the first time we run across them, of course, we'll flip them so you can see what they're numbered to. Jay Allen said you're going to skip out in a short while. You can't sit through all of this tonight. I know the feeling. Sometimes I feel that way too. And I'm the one doing it. So yeah, no, I understand. I do like this product a lot. I just, as you all know how I feel about it, I just don't like having to open so many wrappers to get to so few cards, because I just think it's incredibly inefficient, which bothers me. But, I mean, we all know why they do it. I just wish they wouldn't. So, I can't believe we may have 2 weeks without a new release. The last calendar update that I saw, I think, puts our next new release on the 17th of January, which is, what, a Friday, right? So, possibly going to have a ways to go, being next Friday before we have another new release. I think next Friday would be that date, right? Is that right? Yeah, I think it is. So all of this week and most of next week before we see another new product. No, Nicholas Limited doesn't come out this week. No, nothing is coming out this week. They changed that date on Limited a long time ago. Originally, there was one thing that was supposed to come out this week, and it was Topps Archive Signature Series Active Player Edition. But they moved that forward, I believe, by 2 weeks. So instead of being this Wednesday, I think it's going to be 2 weeks from this Wednesday, unless they move it again. And everything on the Panini calendar moved, at least by 1 week, most of it by a couple of weeks. I mean, I think almost everything on the Panini calendar moved. But yeah, definitely no Limited this week. Nothing new this week. Except maybe Leaf multi-sport jerseys. And I say maybe because Leaf is so fluid, shall we say, with their release dates. You kind of never know. Sometimes they change them and they don't even announce that it's changed until the day it's supposed to come out. That was Marcus Mariota and the Titans. There's Rodgers and the Packers. Another redemption. The plot thickens. 2 boxes, 2 redemptions. Well, I don't know what to think about that. There was the Saints with a prism insert. To 199, TJ Hawkinson for the Lions. So, Nicholas, you'll be happy to see your man TJ. Here's one we haven't seen before in this break. Power formulas. As you can see, that also not a prism, not numbered. That they will mostly look just like that. To 299, Khalil Mack and the Bears. Then we've got some Kansas City Chiefs here, numbered to 150 with Travis Kelce. And what else do we have? I can't believe the Saints lost again. I really can't. The Ravens, Marquise Brown, especially with another play that they consider to be kind of controversial. Throwback insert again, different card design, but also just a throwback insert. I mean, watching the replay, I didn't really think it was all that controversial. I mean, I wouldn't have called offensive pass interference on that play, I don't think. But I could see how, maybe somebody might think that too, I guess. That was Jimmy G for the 49ers. But really, it shouldn't have come down to that anyway. Ooh, black. We like finding black. This is Devontae Adams and the Green Bay Packers. It's numbered to 25. So that's a handsome little low-numbered card for the Packers. Oh, Jay Allen, you love the Archive Signature Series? Yeah, I do too. I always think it's a lot of fun. It frankly doesn't do awfully well. Active player does better, I guess, than retired player and some of the others, but I generally still order quite a bit of it anyway because I like to break it. So the Buffalo Bills to 299. I decided not to go to Dallas, to answer your question. I just think the logistics of it were going to be too difficult to deal with. It does sound like fun, and yet it also sounds like an incredible amount of work. But if it had been closer, drive-wise, I probably would have done it. But I just really wouldn't want to fly, considering you'd either have to stay long enough to get it out, and then in which case you got to get all your shipping stuff to Dallas, or you got to bring everything back home with you, which means you certainly couldn't fly. So I just decided not to do it. But for those of you who don't know, what Jay Allen is talking about is Topps is doing a big promotion this year with Series 1, and I think they're trying to I think they're calling it something to the effect of a 1,000,000 card break. And they're going to the stadium there in Dallas, and breakers can come in and join the party, so to speak. But you have to break for, I think it was 9 hours straight, if I recall correctly, wasn't it? And you had to break, I don't remember now, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I want to say it ended up being something like an average of 3 or 4 cases per hour, 9 hours straight through, of Topps 2020 Series 1. And you do get to break it a couple of days early, but it was just going to be, first of all, keeping that pace up, even if you just cut straight to the center of every pack, and you didn't look at any base, and you didn't really talk about anything, and you just flew through it. I guess you could keep that pace up. But for 9 hours is an incredibly long time. And then, as I said, all the logistics of them dealing with the cards. I think I would have had to have done it as one giant break. And however many cases we were required to break, it would have just been, I would have sold it as one bidding spot for X number of cases. And obviously wouldn't have shipped the base or any of that. But even so, just logistically, it seemed tough. And then on top of all of that, you'd still have all of the regular cases of it that you have, that would be coming in from distributors beyond what you'd be required to buy to participate in that. Which would be okay if it were just within a closer driving distance, I think. The Dolphins and Kenyon Drake to $2.99. I do think it's a cool idea. I just think they should have done it in several cities simultaneously. It's the Buffalo Bills, Tyree Jackson. And I think that they also should have done it for a shorter time frame. Dallas Cowboys, Tristan Hill to $1.99. like done it maybe 4 hours, and then you break however many cases, 10, 12, whatever, maybe 12 cases in 4 hours, but doing it across maybe 4 or 6 locations across the country. So you have more people and less per person. Kerryon Johnson to 150 for the Lions. But this is their first year, so I'm sure they'll sort it out. Gardner Minshew, number 299 for the Jags. That's a nice, fun little hit. First one we've seen live. Our other two have been redemptions. And that, of course, a Prism autograph there for Jacksonville with Gardner Minshew. Seahawks, DK Metcalf, just turning into another beast mode, isn't he? It's to 299. A Prism for the Jags with Josh Allen. And I have to say, watching that game, when they give the ball to Marshawn Lynch, and I mean, it looked like he should have been stopped dead, and the guy just wills himself to get that touchdown. You just want to go up and smack Pete Carroll in the face, don't you? And just say, why didn't you do that in the Super Bowl? Because you would have won. You would have won if you had just given the ball to him. Joe Mixon and the Bengals, a Prism. And, Seahawks aren't even my team, but I'm still bitter over that. I wanted them to win that year. Terrell Davis, MVP for the Broncos. So, yeah. Julian Edelman and the Patriots. Beast mode got it done. Doesn't even look like he took any time off, does it? Ravens, Mark Ingram to 299. JL and I don't really think they'll probably have too much trouble getting breakers to do it, because there are a lot of groups, where maybe they have multiple people that break under, any given name or whatever. Or like if you take Leighton Sports Cards or someplace like that, they might buy several spots and do it. Because, of course, Topps is going to promote them and stuff, too. It's numbered to 99, Edelman and the Patriots. So I'm sure some of the really big name places that have, tons and tons of people and whatever will probably do it. If I had even a couple of people that worked with me, it would be a lot easier to do. Because then you could have had, you could have somebody opening packs and sliding them over. You could have somebody else starting to do the, quick sort and clearing the table. There's just so many things that would come into play. And Topps isn't providing much for that either. From what I understand, they give you like the 6-foot table and an electrical outlet, and that's about it. So, you've got to bring your own laptop and your webcam and all your gear and your setup. And of course, obviously, they'll ship the cards there for you, but outside of that, you've got to get your own supplies there. You got to get your own people there, your own everything. So it's crazy. Nicholas, I did think about a Facebook page a while back, several years ago, but to tell you the truth, well, there's two things. One, I hate Facebook. Absolutely despise it. So I have no interest in having to go spend time on Facebook. So that's number one. But number two, you have very little control over who you're dealing with. And you don't always know exactly who you're dealing with. And the third thing, which is more important and also impacts my decision to not move forward with a website at this point, is that new law about the sales tax. So, as long as I keep everything on eBay, I'm okay. Because eBay knows all those sales tax laws, because you probably remember or have noticed even on your own bills that a lot of states passed legislation that took effect somewhere in 2019 that said all entities had to collect sales tax for their state and remit it. Previously, small businesses had been excluded, and that, of course, stopped in 2019. So if I were to do anything on Facebook or even on my own website, then it would be incumbent upon me to keep track of all of that information for all the states who require it. It's to 199 Lonnie Johnson and the Texans. And at this point, we're probably up to over 30 states that require it, I would imagine. It's Prism, Seahawks. I haven't counted it specifically, but it's the vast majority of them. And the ones that haven't enacted it yet probably will enact it. And from everything I have read about business owners who are trying to do it themselves versus letting eBay or whomever, a similar service, do it, have talked about how incredibly difficult it is because each state has its own reporting procedures and laws, and it's constantly changing, and etc. To 99 Alexander Madison, rated rookie Prism autograph. This is to 150 Tampa Bay Buccaneers Devin White. In fact, one business, I was just reading another update on this over the weekend, and one business said that they had to spend $120,000 in tax software and extra labor. It's the Redskins, numbered to 299, to collect $60,000 worth of taxes for the various states they had to go to. The Raiders Prism. So they had to spend $120,000 of their own money to collect and distribute $69,000 of taxes, which obviously they do not benefit from. That was numbered to 199 for the Colts. So trying to do anything outside of eBay at this point, assuming that you legally report your taxes, AJ Green and the Bengals, would be nearly impossible for a small business at this point. I mean, a small, like, one-person or two-person business like what I run with this. It was the Eagles with a Prism. At some point, maybe they'll simplify some of those tax laws. It's the Chargers to $299, or come out with some better tax software that makes it easier and less expensive. But until they do, kind of stuck. To $99 for the Jags, that's Josh Allen. So there you go. What are you going to do? Can't do much about it, unfortunately. Jay Allen, you don't like Facebook either? I thought I was like the only person in the world that just doesn't like Facebook. I mean, I used to be on there a long time ago, but I don't know. It just bugs me. I just don't have any interest in being on there. I probably have not even logged into my account in probably 2 years, maybe more. It's been a long time. But yeah, I also learned recently, I mean, I knew eBay was collecting all the sales tax for me. What I did not know is that they are reporting it as income. So I have to go back through and manually strip out all of that sales tax transaction by transaction for an entire year. I mean, that will take me days, so that I can correctly reflect it as sales tax collected and not as income, which is how eBay is reporting it. And I also found out that even though I don't touch that money, I still get charged 3% by PayPal to collect it. So how do you like that? So all that tax money that I don't touch at all and have zero control over, I pay 3% on every dime of it that's collected. So, and it's a substantial amount that is collected these days, let me tell you. So that will add up to several $1,000s over the course of a year. I just don't know what they were thinking when they passed those laws. But anyway. Nicholas, you said you have a group of friends, and a couple of times a month you buy a hobby box and do pack wars. Oh, fun. That's always fun. You've been thinking about starting a Facebook page dedicated to Pack Wars? So, well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure you could find people who are interested in that. There are tons of people who do break on eBay on Facebook and bypass eBay. And, every venue has its challenges, of course, and I'm sure there's lots of good points about Facebook too, but given that I start out not liking it, I'm not inclined to go that direction. Redskins to $2.99 with Adrian Peterson. To $1.99 Hunter Renfrow and the Raiders. Numbered to 150 Gardner Minshew, Jacksonville. But yeah, I mean, there's tons of Facebook groups out there. I don't know if they're any dedicated to Pack Wars or not, but you could, I'm sure if you just did a search on Facebook, you could get a quick overview of how it's set up. See if you would have any competition or not. Blue to $2.99, Darius Slayton and the Giants. That's Titans Prism. And the Jets, Le'Veon Bell with a base Prism. I guess Jerry Jones finally announced that he fired, Garrett, which pretty much we all knew after the last game ended that it was coming, but they wouldn't announce it. And he was even bringing in other coaches to interview for the job, all without officially announcing that they had fired Jason Garrett. To 150, Tom Brady and the Patriots. And even though the guy hadn't done a good job in the last few years, the Raiders, Josh Jacobs Prism, he didn't deserve to be treated like that. I didn't think. I thought that was kind of crappy. Alshon Jeffrey to 99 for the Eagles. Totally just going to bring in other people to interview for your job while you still technically, I guess, officially have your job. And to make it so public. DeMarcus Lawrence Prism. Cowboys. So, I don't know. I thought that was kind of sketchy. Rodney Anderson is our autograph, and it is numbered to 75, headed to the Cincinnati Bengals. But I guess we'll see what they do next down there in Dallas. They've got a pretty good young group of guys, and I'm sure they can get a good coach in there. Problem is probably just Jerry. Let's just make Jerry be quiet and stay out of things. But I don't think it works that way. Nicholas, you think Facebook is full of price gougers? Well, certainly in any format like that on somebody's own website or on Facebook or any of those places where you can go in and sell your own spots and just set your price and then set and wait for it to fill. Yeah, people are probably naturally going to get more money that way without bidding competition, but again, that has its drawbacks too, in my opinion. For one thing, you have to wait for the breaks to fill, and you can't do the volume, and you don't know for sure when it's going to break. And there's a lot of challenges with that too. But yeah, I know a lot of those guys that do fixed pricing end up getting more money. But as much as there are bad things about eBay, there are a lot of good things about it too. So I'm just going to plug along. Oh, I missed that news. Nicholas says the Cowboys have already made their hire, that they picked up Mike McCarthy today. Okay. I still thought, actually, they had a couple of interviews left to go this week. I knew they had talked to McCarthy, but I thought they had more people on tap. But I guess Mike McCarthy fit the bill. So there you go. Missed that news. Well, everybody knew he would find another job pretty easily. You know, he ran things too well up there in Green Bay for so long that you knew he wasn't going to be out of work for very long. He'll probably be good for Dak. Redskins Haskins to 199. Whoops, hang on. I knew I felt something stuck back there. It's that silly little advertising card. Numbered to 99, the Tennessee Titans, DeAndre Walker. Number to 150, Carson Wentz and the Eagles. I mean, that guy is just, he has the worst luck. Finally, he has a season where he stays healthy, he gets to the playoffs, and then gets knocked out of the game with a concussion. Like, I mean, I don't even know how many plays they had run before he got knocked out. But I mean, not literally knocked out, but knocked out of the game. It's to 299, Andy Isabella and the Cardinals. But it wasn't many. Like, that guy just cannot catch a break. Prism, Rams. This is our first purple coming up. But on the flip side of it, little Josh McCown, who's had retired and they brought him back, and this is technically like, what, his 17th year in the league, got to play in his first playoff game. A Tom Brady purple parallel, numbered to 50. So that was, I guess, the flip side of it, but there you have the Patriots to 299. But then, of course, the Eagles were just beat up all year anyway. Jets and Prism. But honestly, McCown still had them in there. They had a chance to win. You got to think maybe if Carson had been there, maybe it would have been a better chance to win. But, I mean, I thought Josh McCown played admirably. Amari Cooper, Cowboys. Our autograph is Zach Allen, number 275 for the Arizona Cardinals. And a prism for Mecole Hardman Jr. and Kansas City Chiefs. It is a tough way to go for the Saints. I mean, oof. Tough for them, tough for the Eagles. But what are you going to do? And the Bills. Oh, the Bills. I mean, Josh Allen played so well in the first half. So well. And then in the second half, I don't know what happened to him. He reverted somehow. And then I think he got really nervous because they were towards the end. I mean, he made some really bad decisions that he'll learn and grow from and whatever. But, man, I mean, it looked like the Bills were going to lock that up until poor little Josh Allen sort of fell apart. But you got to remember how young he is, too, I guess. For as many expectations as we place on these quarterbacks, some of them are still really young. But hey, at least they got to the playoffs. It's more than my Steelers did. Steelers are riding the couch, surfing the couch for 2 years in a row playoff time. So yeah, you absolutely know they're going to choose the Steelers for Hard Knocks. I said this the other night too. I mean, there's a handful of teams that would be eligible under the criteria. I don't know, 4 or 5 teams or something that technically will be eligible for Hard Knocks. And by eligible, I mean can be forced to do it. I guarantee you it's going to be the Steelers that they choose. Because there's not too many times when the Steelers would be eligible for it. Oh, but they are. So wait and see. That's what I'm calling it now. Hard Knocks is going to be my poor Pittsburgh Steelers. Aha, we have got our teal velocity. So this is not technically a case hit, I don't guess, but yet we have been finding only one per case. You'll see it is not numbered either. Tristan Hill and the Dallas Cowboys. But in every case we've opened, we have found only one. So I'm going to kind of call it an unofficial case hit. Numbered to 50, Jameis Winston, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, purple parallel. To 150, the Raiders, Tyrell Williams. There's a prism Josh Allen for the Jags. You know, one of the talking heads was kind of linking Marcus Mariota to the Steelers. Like, they thought that he would be a good fit there because everybody's, you know, thinking he's not going to be with the Titans. They're gonna ride the wave of what they have. Daniel Jones to 299. And, you know, why wouldn't you? Tannehill's been playing really well. So, a mythical Bosa for the 49ers. That one is not numbered. Occasionally that insert will be numbered, but that Nick Bosa was not. The Jets in 299. Nicholas wants to know what's the criteria to be eligible. It is if you haven't been to the playoffs in the last 2 years and you haven't been on the show in the past 10 years and you do not have a first-year head coach, you are eligible. James Conner Prism for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, of course, Steelers missed the playoffs last year and this year. So there you go. Yeah. Most of the time, you know, that would get us out of having to be on it because it's not typical that the Steelers would miss the playoffs 2 years running. And, of course, we don't have a new head coach, so that can't save us. And, you know, pretty much, yeah. There you go. Lonnie Johnson for the Texans, numbered to 25. So they are going to come get us, and we haven't been on in obviously the last 10 years either. So they can definitely come after us, and I believe they will. The Texans and J.J. Watt. Rashawn Gary Packers. I'm going to tell you what, J.J. Watt basically won that game for the Texans. He made that huge play, changed the momentum. I mean, that guy, for having been out with a torn pec most of the year, it's to 199. Cam Newton, Panthers, came back flat ready to go and made his presence felt. A nice one for the Raiders. It's Josh Jacobs, your rookie running back, with an autograph there for Oakland. Somehow I keep moving this mat, and then it causes, you know, so I keep, if you're wondering why the camera periodically moves, it is me trying to straighten it back out because somehow I'm dragging the mat or something with me, and then it's causing the camera, you know, the tripod to move, and your camera angle keeps getting funky, and I try to fix it back, and then I look down and it's funky again. So who knows? But they showed a shot of TJ up in the you know, whatever, like a family box or whatever. I mean, he was losing his mind when JJ made that play too. He was so excited for his big brother. And Deshaun Watson, I mean, he works some magic as well. Don't mistake me and think that I don't believe that Deshaun Watson contributed. He absolutely had some great plays, including there at the end when, truthfully, he should have been tackled, but somehow he worked his magic and escaped. But I think without J.J. Watt in that game, I still don't know that the Texans would have won it. He was the tipping point, I think. Jay Allen, you are reminding me that you need Panthers, Falcons, and Buccaneers. All right, my friend, we will work the mojo for your Panthers, Falcons, and Bucks, and we're still working on the Lions, Barry Sanders downtown. Now that I just flat out hit myself, sorry, for Nicholas. We will see if we can come up with something. I'm going to try really hard to see if we can. So do you guys really buy that Tom Brady is done with the Patriots? I mean, I know his contract is up. He can sign with them. He can sign somewhere else. He keeps acting like he's maybe done. But the way that they lost, and especially with his last throw being a pick that was returned for a touchdown. Byron Murphy, Prism, Cardinals. You have to just wonder, is he really willing to just walk from that? But he says he's not thinking about retiring, but it also doesn't sound like he's thinking about returning there. Bills and Devin Singletary. And some news outlet was reporting that they had put their house on the market and all this other kind of stuff. So, I don't know. Be interesting, I guess. To $2.99, Jared Goff and the Rams. It does have a little sense of finality to it, but yet I just find it hard to believe that he would just walk. Will Greer and the Panthers to 150. But then again, I mean, I think we all know he's indicated over the years maybe he's not in love with Bill Belichick. The Seahawks to $2.99, and they haven't given him the surrounding weapons that he needed this year to be as successful as he's been in the past. And by all accounts, he's close with Josh McDaniel, who everybody predicts is going to leave. So I don't know, maybe it adds up to him walking away. Easton Stick and the Chargers to 50. Charles, you think he would be good in Vegas with the Raiders? Maybe. It's the Panthers Prism. Although all the reports coming out about the Raiders seem to indicate that Derek Carr's job is safe. The champ is here, so this insert set, we normally find a lot, although this is our first one tonight. That's for the Patriots. Any that we find, of course, will be an insert for the Patriots because they were our Super Bowl champions. The Rams, Todd Gurley to 199. Minka Fitzpatrick, Prism, Steelers. Maybe he just wants to go test the market and see what somebody's willing to pay him. Because he has worked on what I would call a somewhat low-end contract in comparison to other contracts for the last several years. Ed Oliver and the Bills to 99. I mean, we'll call it a team-friendly contract, if you will. There you go, Jay Allen. Devin White for your Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and it is numbered 250. And I think he did that so that the Patriots would have the money to get good supporting players and keep players and whatever, because obviously at various points along the way he could have probably asked for and gotten a lot more money than he did. So maybe that's his end game. Maybe he's just like, okay, my legacy is good. Now I'm going to go make my money and sign one big monster final contract or something. Jay Allen, you want to see him come to Carolina and coach up a future quarterback? Well, are you talking about Josh McDaniel, or are you talking about you'd like Tom Brady to be there and mentor somebody? by all accounts, you know, Tom Brady is not super keen on mentoring people. I think we learned along the way. Not that he doesn't mentor them, but yet maybe it would be less so now that he's older. But, I mean, we all remember how it was with Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, that's basically the reason the Patriots finally traded him, is because Brady just more or less insisted that they do it. And, of course, Jimmy was the heir apparent until they moved him on. So I think there have been some little dust-ups like that in the past where he's felt threatened, or maybe threatened is not the right word, but at any rate, he didn't want other high-level quarterbacks hanging around. So I don't know. I don't know if he's the guy you want to bring into your young quarterback. Maybe he is. He's probably mellowed out now that he's older. Of course, Ben Roethlisberger from my Steelers, he's no better in that regard. I mean, we all remember how he reacted to Mason Rudolph coming in. That was not one of his finer moments either, so it's not unique to Brady to feel a little uh-oh when you've got the youngsters nipping at your heels, I guess. The Saints numbered to 199. Uh, 49ers and Richard Sherman. But it would be interesting to see what he would bring on the open market. Suggs to 199. Cardinals. Ooh, we've got a green. Green in here. I believe they're numbered to 5, right, guys? I think they are. And our green is for the Arizona Cardinals. Probably not the player you wanted. You wanted it to be Kyler, I bet. But Akeem Butler's not too shabby either. And it is, in fact, numbered to 5. The first green that we've come across tonight. Falcons, Matt Ryan to 299. Justice Hill and the Ravens, Prism. I do think it would be interesting to see Tom play in another system, or for another team, because you've heard people over the years criticize him and say, well, he's just a system quarterback, and the Patriots could basically plug and play. They could put anybody in there, and they would have the same success. I don't think that's true, but I would like to see how that played out. So we have a downtown insert in this case, so I'm going to go out on a limb here and assume that we're not going to have a huge hit because we found this, but you never know. It is Dwayne Haskins for the Redskins. So these, as you know, they're not numbered, but they're kind of hard to come by. They don't even come out once per case, although occasionally you get lucky and you find more than one per case. Sometimes you don't find any at all. Tonight, we've at least got the rookie QB for the Redskins. We'll see if we can find any others. I know Nicholas is bummed because he wanted it to be Barry Sanders. Numbered to 99, there's Greedy Williams out for the Browns. Jags, Armstead, Prism. Colts, T.Y. Hilton, Prism. And our autograph in here is Travis Fulgham. So there you go, Nicholas. Not an entirely lost case. Numbered to 99 for the Lions. We're not going to send you home empty-handed. After all, not that you would have been anyway. There's other cards, but you know what I mean. And that was for the Rams, numbered to 299 that we saw just go by. So we are 9 boxes opened with 3 remaining. We're not doing too badly. We're clocking in at 9:55 right now. So yeah, we might be done a hair before an hour and a half, maybe an hour and 15 or 20 minutes or so, maybe. So Be a slight bit faster than an hour and 30. So I've only got, I believe, one other case of Optic left. That, of course, is scheduled to break here in a few days. And then we'll be finished up with the Optic. We're going to be finishing up with Bowman's Best this week as well, at least by the case. I do think I have another half case of that somewhere. I'll have to look, but I think I do. Then we'll be finished up with those two products this week. And then I got a bunch of other stuff floating around down there, but some of it I'm going to sell out by the full case. Some of it will break. We've got more playbook, but only, I think, an inner case left of that. So I'll get that scheduled in the next few days as well. And then, of course, our playoff. I'm kind of anxious to get into that. Because playoff this year was originally, what, the Panini website only, maybe? I can't remember. There was something about playoff that was abnormal. I want to say that might be what it was. And so distributors didn't have it. And then one of my distributors, I guess, bought out the rest of the stock that Panini had or something like that. And called to tell me that they had some, and apparently had some like a week ago. And I had tried to order it, and he told me they were sold out, and then he forgot to tell me when they got it back in, but he finally remembered. The champ is here for the Patriots. So my case of that should be here tomorrow. And we'll get into a little playoff, which also has some contenders in it. They had some contenders preview cards in it, so we'll find some rookie contenders autograph possibilities. No guarantees, of course. Jalen Hurd to 199 for the 49ers. In addition to our regular content for playoff. I think it's 2 autographs and 2 memorabilia per box, something like that. But it's a 20-box case, so, you know, even a half case is still pretty healthy break at 10 boxes. Brian Burns, Panthers to 299. Should be talking, what, 20 autographs and 20 relics, I guess, and a half case. LaShawn McCoy to 299, Kansas City. Jay Allen, you said you thought you were going to go to bed at 10, but now you found out you have to be a designated driver right now. Oh, man. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I will keep trying there for your Panthers and your Falcons for sure. Well, be safe while you're out picking up whomever. And, yeah, sorry about that. I know you were looking forward to hitting the bed early tonight. To 60, the Texans, Lonnie Johnson Jr. He used to play for my Kentucky Wildcats. Number to 150, the Packers and Dexter Williams. A prism for the Ravens. And the Steelers with a prism, TJ Watt. Seahawks prism, Marquise Blair. And number 250, we've got a little Gardner Minshew for Jacksonville. Purple parallel to the big 5-0. That felt like that had something stuck to the back of it, but I guess it doesn't. Oh, I forgot about these. Fans of the game. Yeah, we usually find one of these a case too, occasionally more. But this time we got Erin Andrews, and I guess since she's a broadcaster is why, but she doesn't pick a team. She just uses NFL in general. How dumb. So now we have to use random.org to award her. Usually fans of the game, they pick a team. Deshaun Watson Prism for the Texans. But not good old Aaron Andrews. So we'll be using random to award that one at the end of the night. Next to last box. Progress, progress. I hate doing these wrappers. It just kills me. Because they're not even the good ones like you can just pull apart like you can with tops. I mean, obviously you can pull these apart, but you have to do them more from the seam, and I hate it. If there was only one thing I could change about Panini products, well, tops too for that matter, but especially Panini, it's the number of packs per box. No, Charles, I have not, as far as I know. I'll have to double check my eBay messages, and then I'll have to go back and figure out what our money was on that and whatever. The cards are still here. Obviously, I've got them set aside here on the table. And, you know, usually if something like that happens and somebody doesn't pay, I mean, normally I would know it the night of, but since I didn't, typically I just am stuck with the cards. Although this time they're pretty good ones, you can make some money on them. But I do remember that you were the other person involved in the bidding, so, and you bid with me all the time, so I don't care. You can have the profit on them. Doesn't bother me, just as long as I haven't heard from him by today, which I think is a reasonable length of time to wait, frankly, because I did message the person who I think it was, and also they would have gotten their package by now and realized that they didn't have those cards in it, so they could have also reached out to me, I would think, by now. So my gut feeling is I probably haven't heard from them, but I will double check it, Charles. DK Metcalf, numbered to 150, Seattle Seahawks. That kid's just playing better every week. Yeah, Charles, what we'll probably do, Larry Fitzgerald and the Cardinals, either tomorrow night or the next time you're here in chat, if it's not tomorrow night, whenever it is, Jalen Ramsey and the Jags, we'll just figure out what the dollar was. That was the Texans with a prism, and you can just shoot it over that way, and then we'll, you know, I'll send them out with whatever that group of stuff is, so that's kind of what I'm thinking. So we did find a second downtown in here. So as I said, you either find none or you find two, seems to be the deal. And tonight we're going to find two. Joe Montana and the San Francisco 49ers on our second one. So a pair of downtowns. Number 299, it's Deebo Samuel for the 49ers. That one has a particular amount of curvature to it, much more so than some of the others we've seen. But probably everybody knows these cards and cards like this, Chrome, Prism, etc., any that have that coating on them do have a tendency to kind of bow up a little in the middle. That's the Buccaneers to 299 to 199, Damian Harris and the Patriots. It just so happened that particular one was a bit more curved than some of the others. Chandler Cox to 150 for the Dolphins. Got a little advertising card hanging out up there by itself. We need to get it out of the way. I know, Nick. I know. I was thinking about that, Nicholas. He's like, you hit 2 downtowns, and neither one of them were my Barry Sanders. I know. I'm sorry. That's no fun. Carolina Panthers to 199. That is no fun at all, that's for sure. To 299, the Saints. A Prism Josh Allen for the Jags. I think we might have seen one of those before. I wouldn't swear to it, but I feel like I said that earlier in the night. All right, so we are last box, which means last box mojo coming at you right now. We have to kind of collectively focus our mojo here. See if we can't find a big hit waiting for us in this last box. And it will go like this. We're going to look through, of course, this last box. After we do that, I'm going to take the 2 redemptions. We'll turn those over, see who's on the other side, go to the Panini website to verify the team and find out what, if anything, it is numbered to. After we handle the redemptions, we will use random.org and award that fans of the game card, since Aaron Andrews did not pick a specific team. After we do that little housekeeping stuff, we will recap our autograph hits, our downtown hits, and cards that are numbered to 50 and below. So that's kind of what you can expect coming up here in the next few minutes. And at the conclusion of all of that, I'll put up spreadsheet information one final time where you can get a look at when you can expect your cards to shift if you're in this break tonight, and also what we're going to be breaking in the days ahead. We'll take a little peek at all of that to see what's what. Almost there, almost there. All right, here we go. New York Giants to 199. Prism Steelers. Ooh, some more black. Numbered to 25, it's Josh Rosen and the Miami Dolphins. I guess that poor guy's like about pretty close to being labeled a bust. I don't know if he's gonna manage to revive or not. It was a prism for the Jets. And what else have we got in here? That felt like it had something stuck to the back of it too, but apparently it does not. I'm starting to feel things now. Phantom cards. Tom Brady MVP insert Patriots. Sterling Shepard Prism Giants. Our hit, it is headed to the Browns, numbered to 35. You have Greedy Williams. He also has a much more curvature than some of the others have had. I mean, I'm sure by the time you get it, it'll be mostly straightened out because it will have been in a top loader, but nonetheless. Saints to 199. To 299, Travis Kelce, Chiefs. To straight up 99 is Adderley for the Chargers. To 299, that's the Colts. And just one little handful of stuff left to go here. Kansas City Chiefs with a prism, and our last base there was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All right, so we have our housekeeping tasks to deal with here, and then we'll get our recap things set up to go. And let's see what's what. Let's see what's on the other side. A.J. Brown, and that'll be the Tennessee Titans. The card set is rated rookie autograph hollow. Then it is next up Ed Oliver, which will be for the Buffalo Bills, rated rookie autographs red. So I'm going to assume that that one for the Bills is probably going to be numbered to 50 then, most likely. But guess what? We're going to go look it up, and then we're going to know. I'm going to go ahead and get these labeled. We'll put in the numbering when we get there. And let's head over to the Panini website, and we're going to find out what is what. What do we need to know? Let's get you on the same page I'm on. Had everything but the card set already up there because I just figured we'd find some redemptions. We usually do. So we're going to look up the Ed Oliver first. That is rated rookies autographs red. Autographs red. Card number 197. Ed Oliver, Buffalo Bills, and numbered to 50. So pretty much exactly what we expected that to be. Now for the Titans, we need to find A.J. Brown. That is rated rookie autograph hollow. He is card number 164. A.J. Brown, Titans, and numbered to 35. All right, that takes care of both of our redemptions. Now we need to give the Aaron Andrews fans of the game needs to go to a new home. So here's how it works. I'm going to copy the team names here from our spreadsheet. Then I will head back over to random. You're coming with me, obviously, as we do this. I'm going to paste them into random.org. And I do random the same way every time, which is, well, if I can get it to launch, which is that if we have 9 or fewer items, I do random 3 times, and only the third one counts. The first 2 would not count. But when we have 10 or more, which obviously we do here in this list, I only do random once. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. Random one single time. Whatever team comes up in the number 1 spot after I randomize, you're going to get this Aaron Andrews fans of the game card. So there you can see everything was pasted in there as it should be. Good luck, everyone. And here we go. Comes up as the Saints. All right. So that means the New Orleans Saints are getting that, will be getting that fans of the game, Aaron Andrews. Now this is in a sleeve. I would never take a Sharpie and write on your card. And I think everyone knows that, but you know, as sure as I don't do that, yeah, you know what'll happen. So there we go. Now you can see on the sleeve and not the card. So let's get our recap on. Numbered to 25, you've got the Dolphins and Josh Rosen. Downtown insert for Joe Montana, 49ers. Numbered to 50, Jacksonville, Gardner Minshew. A downtown Dwayne Haskins for the Redskins. Numbered to 5, Hakeem Butler and the Cardinals. Numbered to 50, that is Stick and the Chargers. To 25 for the Texans, Lonnie Johnson. To 50 for the Buccaneers, it's Jameis. This is not numbered, but this teal velocity tends to come out only once per case. That was for the Cowboys, Tristan Hill. Tom Brady and the Patriots to 50, and to 25 you have Devontae Adams for the Packers. So those are all of our cards that were numbered to 50 or less that do not have an autograph attached with them. Now we're going to recap our autographs. The Tennessee Titans have an A.J. Brown redemption numbered to 35. The Buffalo Bills have an Ed Oliver redemption to 50. There's a Greedy Williams with a lot of curvature. That's headed to the Cleveland Browns. It's numbered to 35. A rated rookie DK Metcalf to 150 for the Seahawks. Lonnie Johnson Jr., Texans, numbered to 50. Did that say 50? 60, sorry, to 60 on the Lonnie Johnson. Travis Fulgham, numbered to 99, Lions. Devin White, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, to 50. A rated rookie for the Raiders, it's Josh Jacobs to 25. Zach Allen and the Cardinals to 75. The Bengals and Rodney Anderson to 75. Alexander Madison and the Vikings to 99. And a nice little Gardner for Jacksonville, numbered to 99. All right, so there's the break. There's the recap. All of our housekeeping is done. As promised, next up, you're going to see the spreadsheet info one final time if you missed it earlier. So here's the 411. This should be out the door and on the way no later than Thursday. It may go sooner, but it should not be later than that unless something wildly unexpected happens. Everybody in this break pulled cards, so we don't have to worry about consolation cards. All the cards shipped, so every team is going to have a nice little stack headed your way. This is what it looks like in the days ahead. This stuff is already listed on eBay, up and available for bidding. We're going to be breaking it over the course of the next several nights. So tomorrow night is Leaf autographed baseball jersey and Contenders football by the full case, but Veteran Base does not ship in the Contenders football break. Also, I'm going to double check the time. I'm not sure if we're starting at 8:30 or 9 tomorrow night. So usually I put on the spreadsheet if we're starting early, so it makes me think it's 9 o'clock, but I will double check that, and you should too, in case I have it starting early. On Wednesday night, it's a half case of Leaf autographed football jerseys. That is the back half of a case. And Bowman's Best Baseball, which I believe is my last full case of that. On Thursday night, it's going to be a pair of TriStar Platinum autographed mini football helmets and a case of Leaf Best of Football. Friday night, Optic Football. I believe that's my last full case of that. On Saturday night, we're going to open another Leaf autographed baseball jersey and a half case of 2019 playoff football. Sunday night will be an off night. Monday night, we're going to open another half case of Leaf autographed football jerseys. That will be the start of a new case. And then we will open playoff football again that night as well, finishing up that case that we start on Saturday. So that is it for me tonight. As always, I appreciate you being here. Thank you for hanging out and bidding, breaking, chatting with me. I will be back at it tomorrow night. If I do not see you again then, hopefully I will see you again soon. Enjoy your week ahead, and we'll see you the next time. Bye now.